Welcome to Pod Save America. I'm Jon Favreau.
I'm Jon Lovett.
I'm Tommy Vietor.
I'm Dan Pfeiffer.
Well, guys, we made it. It's our last show of 2024.
You both have hats? Oh, the tribe has spoken? Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Been saving these for a while.
Unbelievable.
We thought we'd get a little more mileage out of them, but it turns out short but sweet. Like the Viagra of Etsy purchases, one-time deal.
Well, they look great.
It's going to deliver.
It's just for those listening at home. They both after we began, they both put on their the tribe has spoken hats.
That's right.
Not one for Dan. They didn't get Dan in on this.
We've been saving them for
this
occasion. No,
but my task is to remind people because it was so long ago that you were on Survivor at one point.
Yeah.
And the season just ended this week, right?
That's right. The finale was last night. Yeah, and many months ago I was on Survivor. It's enough to forget.
You're still in the intro because I turned on the TV
right.
and it was on, and there you are.
I saw a picture of you embracing your nemesis / frenemy, old friend.
Yes,
best friend turned frenemy turned what? Now we're friends again?
Andy's out there living his dream, and then that's fine. But I have a picture of our meeting, which was funny.
It was a meet cute.
But anyway. I saw all the my fellow castaways.
How were their tape
Do they remember you?
Yeah, they remember me. I was like, you remember me, short guy, first day?
They're like, you're a producer, right?
Yeah.
Pod something?
Yeah, that's right.
Podcast? You did a podcast?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
It's our last show of 2024, and that means it's our annual Pundies episode, where we will rank the very worst takes from a very bad year, including our own, if they could find any, We'll also do our annual New Year's resolutions, which we always break and always forget. Not to suggest that anything is more important than dunking on each other's worst moments, guys, but as we're recording this on Thursday afternoon LA time, the U.S. government is basically in total chaos, and non-essential functions may shut down just in time for the biggest travel week of the year, all because Elon Musk tweeted us to the precipice of a government shutdown. I think because he thought the funding bill had too many pages. He was upset with the height of the height of the stack of paper. Was upsetting to him.
Aesthetically not pleasing.
So he started tweeting, and then Trump got involved, and then they killed this bill that had been negotiated with both parties very carefully. It was going to pass. Killed the bill. Then as we're recording, there's like a new bill. Doesn't seem like they have the Republican votes for that or the Democratic votes for that. And the government runs out of money Friday night.
And who is the current president?
Right.
And is that person involved at all? Do we know what that person thinks about this?
I believe there was a statement from the White House on Wednesday evening.
Right.
That's all we've heard. President Trump's been doing some posting, some truths. Elon Musk has been tweeting up a storm. J.D. Vance, I think, has been tweeting.
My favorite part is when Vivek pretends he's an equal partner in this Doge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, he's like, how Elon walks around with his kid on his shoulders at all times? That's Vivek. He's a little silly guy.
I guess in the old version and the new version of the bill, which doesn't know if it's going to go anywhere, that Trump and Musk approve of, the big changes, they were able to eliminate funding for childhood cancer research.
It's got to stop.
So that losers, kids with cancer, winners, pharmaceutical middlemen, pharma managers, and China. Now we're allowed to invest more in China.
Yeah, it's funny that Elon Musk does a lot of business in China, a lot of factories, a lot of Teslas would want restrictions on U.S. outbound investment in China to get knocked out of the bill.
Yeah.
It's a coincidence.
So that's what we're watching. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Wonder how it turns out.
Dan, what do you think? Anything? Any thoughts?
I think that there has been a lot of criticism in the Democratic Party and on this podcast about Joe Biden's absence from the scene. It is time to make a bug a feature, and let's let Donald Trump own this shutdown.
Yeah,
This is between Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, Elon Musk have to figure this out amongst themselves.
Yeah, you boys work it out.
If they don't, this is on them.
You boys work it out. The new click. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the good stuff. So we have not seen any of the takes or categories in advance. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our guest host, the Take Master General himself, Elijah Cohn. Elijah, looking good.
Thank you. Yes, I did put on my tux. This is the biggest night of the year for me. We've never done a Pundies after an election loss, let alone one like this. So I was so thrilled when this got put on my plate. So fun. Such a fun year to reminisce. Here's how it will work. We're going to go through a number of categories for bad punditry. I'll read you a take. You'll react, and we'll go on to the next take. At the end, you'll decide who won the category. The category winners will compete at the end for worst take of the year. Have you guys seen a dog show? It's like a dog show format.
Yeah.
You've said this a few times.
Yeah.
You're saying
First
dog show.
He's saying that first you put up the sporting dogs up to the little dogs. Then you got your other dogs, and then the best dog in each category, pugs and so forth.
Yeah.
They all go head to head in a final category where you're deciding
their nuts while you judge them so they don't move.
Right, we're right, exactly, and we're a group of adults
that was my takeaway.
decide whether or not a
coming,
Shih
Tommy.
Tzu is better or worse than a Labrador. It's like, no, this one's better. Stupid.
The answer is worse.
For
Well,
sure.
let's kick things off then.
For sure.
We'll start out for an easy topic. This is kind of to whet our take appetites from the beginning of the year.
Gross.
The presidential primaries. Remember those?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
We didn't really have
No.
one.
We didn't have none on our side.
Dean Phillips?
Yeah, Dean Phillips is part of this. Here's a couple of takes. Let's start off with this piece from
boy.
The Hill. After Trump wrapped up the nomination, a piece titled, quote, "Trump's GOP is already dying." Here's an excerpt read by one of our wonderful Pod Save America producers.
Republicans have built themselves a party whose sole purpose is to appease and gratify Trump. In the process, they're quickly losing appeal to anyone in America, including some of the party's most faithful warriors. The MAGA movement, once so skilled at enforcing loyalty, is cracking.
Great reading.
Great
First of all,
reading.
that was beautiful.
Wow.
Nice
Grammy
Feel
for
emotion.
spoken word.
Sounds like, is that Adrian? That was
I think
Adrian.
it was Adrian.
Right? That was
It's
wow.
good.
Voice for radio.
EGOT. Who was that?
Is that how?
What are we?
We're not
we're,
guessing.
we're
What are we
not
doing
guessing.
here?
We're just.
Well, you guys just. I figured
doing
you
the
guys would
winning
be.
tick.
I figured you guys would react to each take as we go,
okay,
but we could
got it.
just do them all.
No.
I figure-
But it's not like a guess who did the guess who was.
Oh yeah,
Who done it?
no. You're just
Yeah.
reacting to the
Yeah.
take.
My reaction is that one didn't pan out.
Yeah. No. Would
I think,
that
I think it's gonna be a theme, Tommy.
Yeah.
would that it were. Would that it were
I
true.
feel like there was a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
A lot of that. Probably some on this very
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Some witch casting.
Yeah.
You know?
We're always talking about the cracks showing. This is
cracks,
America.
yeah.
We don't care about cracks.
I think we had like 45 episodes that had some kind of title about like Trump grip on the GOP loosens. Trump
Question mark. But we always put a question mark.
That's true. That's true.
Protect ourselves,
And boy, was that answered.
We had a DeSantis pilled. For a
We're
minute.
just asking questions on this podcast.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Next up, we have billionaire Bill Ackman talking about Dean Phillips' chances to win the Democratic primary ahead of Michigan's primary. Let's take a listen.
Biden's doing very poorly in Michigan. His polls are terrible. The Muslim community is not happy with him. And he really has spent no time there. And so if he's embarrassed in Michigan, it could be a catalyst for him withdrawing. Then Dean will get funding. If he wins Michigan or shows well in Michigan, and people say he's viable, he's the only choice we have, he'll attract from the center, he'll attract from people, Republicans who won't vote for Trump, in which they're a big percentage, could be 60% or more, it could be 70% won't vote for Trump, and also from the Democrats. So I think he's a really interesting candidate.
Well, that's just premature.
If
I mean, it's
only.
half right.
Yeah.
If only.
You got the
Yeah.
top right. You just wrong, not the primary, the general.
Oh,
Right.
Bill
Yeah.
Ackman never misses.
That honestly, it's like that take aged poorly and then it aged well again.
Right.
I don't know.
Oh,
if there's,
I thought it started well. It started off. If you had cut the first 20 seconds of that, well, I guess
Right.
because he didn't end up competing in Michigan.
right. Well, I guess what I mean is just that like the liabilities he was describing were correct. They ultimately did become Kamala's liabilities and cost us the country. So there's some truth in that.
But Dean
Phillips
couldn't get it
wasn't the
done.
way. He
Dean
wasn't the
couldn't get it
way.
done.
He wasn't the way. A Cassandra, if you will.
The best part about that take, or the worst part, I guess, is the way in which Bill Ackman speaks so confidently about something he does not understand at all.
Yeah.
It's like
mean,
if I
that's sort of-
decided to just expound on astrophysics on this podcast.
I mean,
Right.
that is his brand. That is Elon's brand. That is the brand of all the bros,
Yeah,
the billionaires
and
who
you-
are running the government now.
I don't know. Maybe they're smarter than they seem. they're having a better holiday than we are.
Sure are.
And to round out the category here, we have another piece from The Hill that was written after the election, but it's about the 2028 primaries. It's titled, "America Needs Another Reagan. Nikki Haley is already following his path to power." The piece, as you might imagine, is about how Nikki Haley is poised to win the 2028 Republican nomination. Here's an excerpt.
The 2024 election might go down as the first podcast election. Trump benefited from appearing on podcasts like The Ben Shapiro Show. Tim Pool interviewed him, and his appearances on Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan helped secure his victory. During the election, Harris was tepid about doing podcasts and leaned more toward the mainstream media, which appears to have cost her. Haley, on the other hand, understands the appeal and has started her own podcast.
Wow.
Again,
On the way to a good take.
I was gonna say, I love these takes that are like mostly right, and then
And a swerve,
you're like, crashes into a wall right at the end.
Right at the end there. Couldn't stick the landing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, her podcast has rocketed up the charts.
What is her show called?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Has anyone heard it?
It's actually called Call Her Nothing. Is what it's called.
I can't wait for 5 years from now when we're doing this exact podcast to look back on our response. On the worst pun take will be our take about this in our incoming president-elect Nikki Haley.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's really kept. Has she said anything since the? I mean, I guess it just shows her reach. That I cannot tell you anything that Nikki Haley has said or made news on her podcast. Anyway, we wish her the best. Nikki, come on Pod Save America.
She's in the quiet car of the Trump train.
So who wins the category?
Oh, it's called Nikki Haley Live. It's not. I think it's on Sirius XM. It's a show.
It's a radio. It's a
radio.
It's our sister show.
Right, we're doing. We're doing. By
She's
the
in
way,
family.
those are the cross promos we've been doing.
Who was the first one? The first one was the worst, right?
Yeah, the first one was just wrong, just completely wrong.
What was the first one?
That
Trump's GOP is already dying.
Oh. Yeah, I think that has to be the.
That's it.
That's the one that we can be sure of.
Can you tell us who authored that?
Yes, I can.
Please tell me it wasn't an issue of message box.
And can you also tell us how many more takes from The Hill are we going to do?
That's a lot of Hill.
That's it. We're done with The Hill.
Hill to die on, huh?
Right.
was it,
That's
Elijah?
right. The Hill.
Max Burns.
Max Burns.
The Hill, Washington's second choice to read on the toilet. Right? At least
I
my
think it's like
experience.
third or fourth.
Yeah, maybe
now.
third or fourth.
You guys
now.
didn't get the memo that we're doing all Hill takes for the Pundies this year?
Justice for roll call.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. Appetizers eaten. Here come the main course. The worst polling take of the year.
Oof.
Oh.
Okay.
We're going to play a
This
clip
was
from
a
Polar
terrible
Coaster.
year. Yeah. This was a terrible year for polling, or was it? Crosstabs are in the eye of the beholder. Let's take a look at the worst polling takes of the year. First up, we have Nate Silver. Nate's modeling was actually pretty accurate this cycle, but in October, he got in a Twitter fight where he made a big bet with a super rich investor named Keith Rabois. Here's the exchange, which will be done in a dramatic reading by our producers, Saul and Farah.
Nate, you are a buffoon. Minimum Trump win in Florida is 8 points and more likely 10 to 14 points.
Dude, you've got to stop huffing the Twitter vibes. How much money are you willing to bet on a Trump plus 8-point spread in Florida?
$100K.
Okay, have your lawyer drop a quick contract and it's a deal. Nate.silver.media@gmail.com. No contract, no bet, because you've been nutty lately and are a payment risk.
Donald Trump won Florida by 13 points.
Did we ever get confirmation as to whether there was a deal? Did they ever send a document?
Well, you know what happened is this was revisited. I hate that I know this. This was revisited when the New York Times, the other Nate, dropped a poll about Florida, a Florida poll in the weeks before the election that showed Trump, I think, up 13 in that poll.
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Nate Cohn basically nailed Florida. And so when Nate dropped this poll, then everyone started ragging on Nate Silver about the bet, but I don't think the bet had happened.
Oh, well, lucky for Nate.
I don't think it came to fruition, but boy, is that a bad take.
Yeah. God, just the confidence,
It's
too.
like how many of us have had takes that we were so sure of, we put $100,000 on the line.
It's also just like, even where there are times where I feel sure of something, I'm so chastened by the history of recent events and my awareness that the future will come.
Yeah,
and you will have to measure it against what you thought in the past.
Okay. Next.
All right.
Pundit
Our next take is for a really nerdy topic for the polling sickos.
Yes.
Here's serial polling poster Adam Carlson talking about race depolarization, the theory that Trump wouldn't win a larger share of the black vote.
Speaking as a pollster, it's wild to me that people take early polling at face value without question, even at the subgroup level. Believing wholeheartedly we're about to undergo mass racial depolarization simply because the polls told me so is an easy way to look silly in November.
Thank you to whoever found this one.
Tough luck.
You're welcome.
Look, to his credit, did not put $100,000 behind it.
Yeah.
And I think admitted he was wrong in the end.
Yes, to his credit, he did tweet out verbatim, I was wrong about race depolarization.
Race step. Race step for the real nerds. That's what they were all calling it, and mockingly. But
Yeah. And even more importantly, it's a huge problem for the country. What's happening?
Although I think less racial polarization is helpful.
Sure. I guess
Right? I don't think we want to be polarized by race. It's not helpful for us right now because we can't seem to
in the
win.
battleground states.
It's
Well,
like,
I mean, it'd be a less divided country if we're all Republicans, but that's also not the world I want to live in.
Just because we have trouble now getting white people to vote for us and black people and Latino people.
Yeah, I'm calling that a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, we just suck.
Yeah.
Anywho.
What else you got?
Well, you knew this was coming. A couple of days before the election, Ann Seltzer dropped her famous Iowa poll. It had Kamala Harris leading Trump by 3 in Iowa. In reality, Harris lost in Iowa to Trump by over 13 points. Trump is now suing Ann Seltzer because of this. Here's a clip from friend of the pod, Sarah Longwell, reacting to the poll when it came out.
She's not been the wrong one. Like, there have been times where she has produced things that look like outlier results. And what pollsters learned is that when Ann Seltzer's poll looks like an outlier, you better shift your polls to think more like hers. It doesn't go the other way.
The rare take that will appear on the Pundies and in Discovery.
A take so bad it might get you thrown in jail. In Sarah Longwell's defense, she was right there. I mean, Seltzer has historically been right. She has been someone who's been willing to put out polls that did not match the herded class, but yeah, it ended up being very, very wrong.
Look, we all saw it. We were getting on a plane to Vegas from Phoenix, and we were cheering. We were excited. We got ourselves.
It was exciting. It was quite exciting.
Yeah, I think I feel like the interpretation that Sarah has there is completely fine. The hope that that Seltzer was right is completely fine. She's taken enough shit for this poll, and she had the kind of courage of her convictions to do a poll the way she was accustomed to doing it, taking what the data showed her and releasing it, which is what a lot of pollsters refuse to do, which is why all the polls heard. She got this one wrong, but it may just be truly one of those things where there was an outlier, which should happen in a lot more polls.
Whose take are we judging, Sarah, or the poll?
I think this one goes to Ann.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, Ann's poll was wrong. Yeah.
Lock her up.
We have one more in this category. Sometimes the worst polling takes are to bail on the polls altogether and come up with your own pseudoscience method of predicting elections. Professor Alan Lichtman is a man who claimed to have a system like that called the 13 Keys. He became quite a character in this cycle with many takes and posts, but here's one example that we particularly enjoyed of him getting into a fight with Nate Silver.
Nate Silver claims to have applied my keys to predict a Trump victory. He doesn't have the faintest idea how to turn the keys. He's not a historian or a political scientist. He has no academic credentials. He'll be wrong again in trying to analyze the keys.
I mean,
this
is tough.
No, I actually don't think it is. I think it's the fucking keys.
That's where I was leaning. That's where I was leaning. I mean, like, Ann Seltzer is being sued and did have the biggest miss from the best pollster ever. But again, she said when she put out the poll, it could be an outlier and I'll be comfortable with that. Like, she made a joke. She said, "You'll distribute my ashes over Des Moines." And now that's what the lawyers will do. Know what? It's Alan Lichtman, hands down.
Because you know what? Because we're people. People make mistakes. People get things wrong. The best methods lead to an incorrect result. But she had the humility and like the expertise to put behind it and the rigor. This guy's running out there being like, I've been in the sarcophagus and found the secret eye that tells you how politics will be in the future. And it's just embarrassing.
I love making up your own system. It's like a degenerate gambler. It's like I always hit on red sevens. Like, okay.
It's muddy at the Beltway.
And honestly, Nate Silver, while spectacularly wrong about Florida and putting $100,000 on it, I guess I have a little respect for putting the $100,000 on
Money
a
where your
bet
mouth
in
is.
public. That's I mean, I don't know if he actually did it, but even saying that.
Right. The rest of us are cowards before time.
Okay. So, Alan Lichtman, winner.
There you go. Congratulations.
Depending on how you think about it.
Yeah, I'm a big,
Do you think Trump will sue Alan Lichtman?
I
hope so.
I think he'll end up being. I think he'll end up being Commerce Secretary.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the worst Blue-Anon / Blue MAGA discourse of the year. If you don't know, Blue-Anon and Blue MAGA are what they sound like, just pro-Biden right-wing influencers that are dyed-in-the-wool, willing to go to the mat for the president. Let's get into it. First up is a post from pro-Biden influencer Chris Boozy responding to the calls for Biden to step down.
What Democrats are doing to Biden and Harris is no different than what Republicans tried to do on Jan 6. The only difference is no one is storming the Capitol building.
That is a key difference. I think I was told by this person directly that I was January 6th-ing Joe Biden, as were all of you.
Yeah, I'm
as
pretty
well.
sure I got that too.
Man, you were deep in your mentions. If you could pull off
I mean,
memory,
that was
Chris Boozy take.
Chris Boozy has quite a few followers, Dan.
Quite
a few followers.
This is an insurrection commentary was some of the dumbest fucking shit. And like the indignity of having to actually walk through why it's so fucking stupid.
I don't think we even have to.
I don't think we ever had to. We never did. So stupid.
If you're
you're either stupid enough to believe it or you're full of shit. And I don't need to convince any of those people.
Yeah, if you think that trying to pressure Biden to step down was like January 6th, agree to disagree.
Yeah. Good luck in life. I hope you figure out how to tie your shoes.
Next is a post from a now deleted account that shows the direction that the conversation took in the days post-Biden and Trump debate. Let's take a listen.
My guess is some top media owners were on Epstein Island. They're taking down Biden and democracy to save their own skin.
This was so good. So good. I remember this one.
Okay,
too.
so let's do another take, but this time kind of more throw it away.
Who was that?
Who was that? Yeah.
They deleted their account. We couldn't find it.
Oh,
It was
okay.
scrubbed.
Yeah.
So this is somebody claiming that it's a conspiracy on Epstein's Island to remove Joe Biden?
Again, I remember. I think I have this one saved somewhere.
Wow. Missed it.
Do we think this person really thought this, or they were just trying to
just
going
trolling.
for engagement?
Yeah.
I remember being struck by who it was. So they might have deleted their account, but it was not some like rando with 2 followers. It was being retweeted.
I think it was called like St. Ashley's Stair Car.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Wow, that's a deep pull.
It was,
Everybody-
I
don't know.
I think it was like a K-Hive person.
John, I don't want to fast forward ahead to the
Resolutions.
part of this, but I have some ideas for you.
I think you do.
That is chilling. The two of you pulling that name out there, being like, I remember who said it. It was this. That is chilling.
Yeah. If the text exchanges between Elijah and I end up in Discovery, this is what it's going to show. Just this.
Don't let them shame you, John. All right. Next is a post from a very popular Resist account, Seth Abramson. Let's take a listen.
No. The call for Biden to step down is not organic. It is the closest thing to an internal coup America has seen since what Trump tried to do at DOJ in 2020.
I mean, I want to know, did Chris Boozy go first or did he go first? Did Seth Abramson go first? Because they're very similar.
Yeah, there's a lot of Blue MAGA going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? January 6th, the coup.
I mean, it wasn't an original thought. It was sort of the dumbest thing you could pull for in the moment.
Yeah, it's very frustrating and stupid.
I do think Seth Abramson's been on the mark,
Mm-hmm.
Time for some game theory.
Is that? Oh, that's somebody else.
No, he's not the
somebody
game theory
else.
guy. He's
What happened to
the,
that guy? Where'd that guy
Oh, that
go?
guy's, I believe, fully red pilled now.
Oh, that checks out. That checks.
He's Tulsi's deputy at DNI. Now it's really time for some game theory.
Yeah.
And last, we have a super viral post from an influencer named Tristan Snell. It's a photo of you guys, Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart, Rob Reiner, John Cusack, Chris Hayes, Stephen King, Michael Moore, Seth Meyers, and George Clooney. The caption simply reads, "These are the folks calling for Biden to quit. Gosh, if only there was something they all had in common." Playing on the discourse of that time that it was racist to call for Joe Biden to step down in favor of Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
So
The kicker is Tristan
racist.
Snell is white.
Yeah, for sure.
And
He
another
is.
kicker, Kamala Harris, black.
Right. That's also an important thing to know.
Yeah, Joe Biden, white.
Yeah, pretty white. That one wins for me because it's when you're thinking of the most ridiculous theory, Joe Biden should not run for re-election is racist. I think is number one.
It was pretty bad.
A white guy accusing other white guys of being racist for trying to dethrone a white guy. It reminds me of this other, like you'll see like a white male comedian refer to white women and make fun of them because he knows he can't say women. And so he has to add the white so that he can make fun of women. You know, it's like, I'm suspicious. I'm suspicious. Color me suspicious.
That was a good one.
That was
I think that wins for me as well.
That also was a moment where also the worm kind of turned. That was just like, are we really doing this?
The replies to that tweet were actually encouraging about the future of the internet.
I mean, I will say, I'm not even going to name the person. There was a member of Congress who went on CNN and not only said that it was racist to call on Joe Biden to step down, but that it was ableist.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. And you know what? Honestly, I would like a cogent, comprehensible president. If that makes me an ableist, so be it. If that's what ableism means now, then I'm an ableist.
It was ableist.
So we're crowning Tristan Snell to move on to the best in show category.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's a great tweet. Today's presenting sponsor is Simply Safe Home Security. As we wrap up the holidays and look ahead to a new year, it's a time for reflection and fresh starts. While you're making resolutions and planning for 2025, it's a perfect time to think about enhancing your home and family security. This new year, take control with Simply Safe's Home Security. Right now, you can save 50% off your new Simply Safe system, their biggest deal of the year, but you need to claim your discount today. You guys know we love Simply Safe here. Jon Lovett set one up himself. You can turn it on and off from your phone. It's got top-of-the-line sensors, and it'll keep your whole family safe, even your beloved family pet. Simply Safe is a new way to protect your home that stops intruders before they break in. Old-school systems only take action when someone is already inside your home, and that is too late. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection changes the game by preventing crime before it even happens. If someone's lurking around or acting suspicious, the agents can see them in real time, talk to them directly, set off your spotlights, and even call the police before they've had a chance to break in. Plus, there are no long-term contracts, no cancellation fees, and it's around $1 a day for all this protection. Simply Safe is extending its massive Black Friday deal for all our listeners. This week only, you can get 50% off any new system with a select professional monitoring plan. This is your last chance to claim their best offer of the year. Head to simplysafe.com/crooked. That's simplysafe.com/crooked. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Pod Save America is brought to you by Lumen. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. Tons of people here at Crooked are now using the Lumen. It's super easy. You just wake up in the morning, you blow into this little device. It tells you whether you're burning fat or carbs, and it generates a nutrition plan for the day to keep you firing at your best level. It's just a really cool idea. So if you want to stay on track with your health this holiday season, go to lumen.me/crooked and get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/crooked for 15% off your purchase. Lumen makes a great gift too. Thanks to Lumen for sponsoring this episode.
Let's move on to worst discourse of the year. This is a little different.
This is good. This is good.
We're not just going to do a single take. We're going to sample a take and then talk about the whole discourse, because 2024 was quite a year for discourse, much like the toilet is quite a place for shit. And if that comparison left a bad taste in your mouth, get ready to pucker up for these. First up.
What else do you want in the toilet, Elijah?
Hallie wrote that. Shout out Hallie. That was a good one. First up, we have the debate commission discourse. Joe Biden and Donald Trump organized their own debates this year instead of working through the nonpartisan debate commission. Many pearls were clutched, but here's a particularly wonderful string of buzzwords from New Jersey Assemblyman and RFK Jr. advisor Jamel Hawley. He called the Commission on Presidential Debates, quote, an institution that has stood as a beacon of nonpartisanship, before saying this.
Regrettably, the sanctity and integrity of the debate process are now facing mounting challenges as political operatives discreetly maneuver behind the scenes to undermine the established norms and protocols that have long governed these crucial events.
So
the discourse is skipping the debate commission.
Yeah, the norms and the protocols and rip the debate commission.
I'd say so. That's about RFK Jr. believing, according to the rules that have traditionally been used, that he would have gotten a slot at a presidential debate, which might be true. And then there was a separate discourse about whether it was bad for the country that the debate commission was basically ignored, and then the candidates spoke directly and figured out debates with the networks, right?
The Commission on Presidential Debates was formed in 1987. This wasn't like the founding fathers. What are we talking about here?
Who also didn't get a lot right either. Okay.
That's a little warm-up discourse.
Yeah,
You guys want to go to the real
It's
shit?
the real discourse.
And
Yeah.
a moose-boosh.
All right. Next up, we have Chapel Roan not endorsing Kamala Harris forcefully enough. This was a moment that combined several issues: Israel and Gaza, LGBTQ rights, the youth vote, and the importance of celebrity endorsements. Let's take a listen. Here's Chapel Roan.
Actions speak louder than an endorsement. Here's the full quote that a lot of people are just not reading. I have so many issues with our government in every way, she says. There are so many things that I would want to change, so I don't feel pressured to endorse someone. There's problems on both sides, and I encourage people to use your critical thinking skills. Use your vote. Vote small. Vote for what's going on in your city. The change she wants to see in the U.S. is this election year, she says, instantly is trans rights. They cannot have cis people making decisions for trans people, period. So, hear it from my mouth, if you're still wondering. No, I'm not voting for Trump. And yes, I will always question those in power. I'm sorry that you fell for the clickbait.
That kicked off a shitstorm for a week.
You know,
It was the whole thing was everything about it was stupid. Everything about it was frustrating. Like, I love Chapel Roan. I think Chapel Roan, like a lot of the people criticizing Chapel Roan, should go outside and touch grass. And like, I'm being perfectly clear, and then being like, how dare you misinterpret my completely elliptical and confusing way of talking about politics. Allow me to make myself perfectly clear. I'm once again going to say something similar that's very hard to interpret. It was like, for no one. And it's like, you're not a political expert. You're putting yourself out there. You became incredibly famous in this year. That must be an insane amount of pressure. Why are we doing this?
Well, now that we can look back on the race, I think we would all agree that celebrity endorsements were the difference maker.
That's true too.
It just depends on your celebrity.
Right. Winners: Hulk Hogan, Joe Rogan.
Losers: Taylor Swift, Beyonce.
Fully opted out of this discourse at the time.
Same, me too. I paid no attention to it. I mentally muted the whole thing for a week.
Too,
well,
yeah.
I think like the bigger thing to take from it is not like this one moment about Chapel Roan, but like, you know, like there was like a big chunk of people like there were like the people that got behind Trump were super excited and gung ho about it. A few people were like that about Kamala, but there were a lot of people like Chapel Roan that felt like it was uncool or problematic to full-throatedly get behind a Democrat. And like, I would like that to not be true in the future. It'd be great if we were a movement where Chapel Roan was excited and it was valuable for her to be a part of it and for in both directions. That'd be cool. That'd be nice.
Boy, would it. Boy, would it.
Yeah, what a discourse. All right. Next up, we have the discourse, should Democrats be doing more to reach men? Here's a tweet from our friend Travis Helwig, who texted me before this to say he disavows his phrasing but stands by his point. Let's listen.
If Kamala loses, which is very possible, there needs to be a real discussion about how Democrats speak to and reach young men. There are very few straight men under 40 in the Democratic consultant class, so when ads try to reach young men, they come off as deeply inauthentic.
This spawned many responses accusing Travis of needing to shut the fuck up and hating women.
Too many fags in the Democratic Party, huh, Travis?
Jesus Christ. I think if Travis had just left out that one clause about the makeup of the consultant class, he had a great point, which is we didn't do great with young men this cycle.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think I think when you look at Democratic consultants, most of them are like men over 40.
Right.
The under 40 men are they're usually operatives, staffers, stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm 40 now. Look, Travis didn't word it artfully.
You were 40.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
in my 40s. I should have said. That's what I meant. But yeah, clearly we did have a problem getting men.
Yeah, we have a huge problem. I think it is. I think pointing at consultants is whatever, but like, it's a collective inability to sound like normal people. A bunch of podcasts where it's like, hey, you come over here, you can say whatever you want. We don't care. I don't love that. But on our side, it's like, you better be careful. There are tripwires, and you're gonna hit them.
I will say that the gender gap, at least according to the exit polls, ended up being not as large as the polls suggested. And
That's because we did worse with women, John.
That's right. That's right. that's what I was getting at, Dan. That's what I was getting at. We did worse with women. So guess we had a women problem as well.
Yeah, we're having a human problem. We need more human. Like, we're having a difficulty reaching voters, human beings.
But I will say, even among Gen Z, where we also had a big problem, the biggest split was college educated, non-college educated, not men, women, right? So it's and we'll see more when the data comes out. But yeah, we have a problem with people who don't have college degrees,
and a problem with Travis.
And we have a big problem with Travis.
Who does hate women?
With Travis.
Yeah,
does
for
hate
sure.
women.
No,
He
for
does
sure.
hate women, so.
He'll appreciate you saying that. Here's our last discourse in a stacked category. You knew this one was coming again. Should Biden drop out? You guys were subtweeted by the campaign after saying he should drop out, being referenced in a fundraising email as self-important podcasters. Anyone who called for Biden to drop out was called traitors by several parts of the internet. We read a lot of those kinds of takes in our Blue-Anon section. What do you guys think? I don't have a clip.
This is such a setup. Think about what?
Here, I'll. Here's what I've been thinking about just as we watch the final few weeks of the Biden administration, and it becomes clear in just these past few weeks how ridiculous the assertion was that he was in shape to be president over the next 4 years. That my regret is that it took until not just seeing him once behind the scenes when we went to the White House, not just seeing him a second time when we saw him at that fundraiser, but till the debate to be full-throatedly honest. Because I feel
Don't we this? I wasn't there.
I said, didn't I say I? I said
we.
my. I was when we saw him. Yeah, some of us were there. I'm sorry. No,
He was at the Clooney fundraiser.
Yeah, you was at the Clooney fundraiser.
Take yourself
Nice
out
try.
of
Yeah, you're part of it. You're fucking part of it. You'll be on the You'll be on the lawsuit.
I don't like your collective tone.
But I think because he wasn't dropping out and it seemed like a fait accompli, it was hard. Like, we were very hard on Biden and wanting him to get out there to dispel questions about his age. But looking on it back, could we have gotten there faster? Could we have pushed harder? I don't know. But I come away from that moment being thinking more about how we got to that place in the first place.
Yeah, look, Joe Biden shouldn't have run again. The hard part about this was, what people don't remember is in the 2020 primary, there was also a conversation about Joe Biden's age. I think we all were on the side that he was probably too old to be running then. Said as much on the show. He won the primary. That made them very angry. They didn't speak to us for 4 years. And so when the midterms happened, I think Joe Biden took the wrong message from it in 2022 that Democratic success in a midterm, when a bunch of completely outside the mainstream crazy Republicans ran for Senate seats and lost, like Dr. Oz, that it meant that the White House was strong, that he should run for re-election, and that was some sort of indication of his political strength. Obviously, it was not. But I felt like from my position, like, I was wrong in 2020. Who am I going to tell the incumbent president not to run for president in that moment outside some sort of major event or indication? I think we talked.
Boy, did we get one of those.
We talked 1,000 times about the polling about his age, concerns about it. We would constantly ask the question, how do you fix this? And I think almost every one of those conversations started with, I don't know that it is fixable, but if it is, here are the things I would try to do. They didn't really try to do any of those things because obviously there's been all this reporting now that, keeping a full schedule was challenging for the president, et cetera, et cetera. So we don't have to belabor all of this, but that's kind of the backstory that people don't remember.
I just think it's worth remembering that after the debate, Joe Biden was behind the whole time. He was behind Trump basically from the summer of 2023 onward. By the time the debate was over, Joe Biden had a 3% chance of winning the election. And the idea here was we could not go into election with a dangerous authoritarian who had a 97% chance of winning. So we had to look for another option. And that option was Kamala Harris, who probably went into it with a 45% chance of winning. And she was not able to get that last 5%. But there's two questions. There is could Joe Biden have served 4 more years? I think the indication is pretty clearly no. And could Joe Biden have win the election? And by the time the debate was over, it was obviously highly unlikely that he would do so. And there was one last moment to try to make a change to give us a chance to win. He, in the end, weeks later than we had hoped, but did step aside. Kamala Harris ran a very good campaign, not a perfect one, but gave her a shot to win an election in a very, very tough environment. And that's sort of where we were. And I will say to all, not the Blue-Anon people from the Discourse section, but most people, could be a good faith disagreement on Joe Biden's electoral chances or Kamala Harris' electoral chances. But in the end, most people came together to try to get her elected and worked pretty hard at it.
I just want to say one more thing here. Joe Biden, this decision was Joe Biden's and a very small circle of people around him, and mostly family. And Wall Street Journal was out today with he was more cloistered in these 4 years than he ever has been in his whole career. He had a small circle of advisors. Not a lot of other people got in. And I remember when we did a Crooked offsite more than a year before the election, and we did a political section where everyone could ask us questions about the coming race and politics, and all you guys, our staff, peppered us with questions why is Joe Biden running? Joe Biden's too old. And I think then we said, number one, no one is challenging him. No one has decided to challenge him. And number two, he is deciding with the people around him that he wants to run for president, and he gets to decide. And people think it's the party, this, that, the other thing. He wasn't even listening to members of Congress by the end. At the end, Chuck Schumer barely got to his house to try to convince him. He was he wasn't listening to many people. So
right. But he did. But the pressure did come.
The pressure came, but yeah,
it was too late.
It was pretty close to him not doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
So should Joe Biden drop out worst discourse of the year?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Actually, some of the best discourse we've ever had.
Okay, so Chapel Roan or Travis or the debate commission.
Debate commission.
Yeah, debate commission. We choose debate commission. Sometimes an ugly, shitty little pug makes it to best in show, and that thing never wins.
Okay. Debate. We're really doing debate commission as the worst discourse of the year. All right, that works for me.
I just think this.
Does it sound like it works for you?
I didn't even know it was discourse, really.
Yeah.
I was on paternity leave, and I was like, I can't believe how many pods we're talking about the debate commission.
Oh, did we?
We talked.
There was a lot of reminding people that they tried to kill Joe Biden by not making Trump get a COVID test in 2020.
Yeah, they did. They did.
All right, the debate commission, worst discourse of the year. Love it. All right.
I don't want to give Travis that.
Yeah.
Not Chapel Roan? Okay. The most bizarre right-wing take of the year. It was a banner year for right-wing takes, and I, for one, thank our glistening, waxy, gray overlord Elon Musk for all the accurate right-wing takes headed our way in 2025. However, the right had their swings and misses, too. Hey, they can't all be Tom Hanks died the first week of COVID and was immediately replaced by evil Tom Hanks.
I forgot about that.
Let's take a look. First up, we have something from Favs' close personal friend, Jesse Waters, about commenting on birthdays.
The oldest president in history just got a little older. It's Joe Biden's birthday. The big 82 for the big guy. And Primetime would wish him a happy birthday, but we have rules here. Men don't wish men happy birthdays.
What a weird thing to say.
He's always tongue-in-cheek about those kinds of things, but it is just a reminder that masculinity is a prison that locks from the inside. Is it gay to have a birthday, fellas? Is it gay to wear pink, fellas?
Can someone note when Jesse Waters' birthday is so we can all wish him a happy birthday?
I'll get it
from as many people as possible?
It's a funny bet. That's good.
Just, I feel like he, like Lovett said, I think he needs it.
July 9th. We got a minute.
Sounds like he needs birthday wishes from his bros.
Yeah. From his bros.
Close personal friend, Jon Favreau. All right. Next, we have a right-wing meltdown for Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce. There were plenty of worthy clips here. But this from OAN host Allison Steinberg takes the cake. Let's take a listen.
Well, yeah, Soros might own her music, but the devil surely owns her soul. She suddenly becomes political, and now she's plastered all over magazines, airports, the NFL, and now even the Super Bowl. It's just 24/7 nauseating coverage. And we're supposed to pretend we don't see the psyop? If Taylor Swift is really owned by Soros, we might actually have a rare chance to unite against him, using Taylor Swift as the Trojan horse. Instead of pushing the alphabet mafia and murdering of babies to her fans, she should be warning about the dangers of the corrupt elites. I mean, that's something we could all come together on, right? But of course, that'll never happen with this guy pulling the strings, now will it?
Wow, that is
What an
Wow.
I was waiting for what is the Trojan horse metaphor there?
I think it's that. Yeah, I think it's that George Soros, via his vehicle of Taylor Swift, is going to push a pro-gay, pro-trans, pro-abortion agenda
at the Super Bowl.
At the Super Bowl.
I don't know if she stuck the landing on that one.
Very Bane.
What's the alphabet mafia?
That's gay people. That's
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ. Yeah,
okay, that helps a little bit.
Yeah, we're the alphabet mafia.
Wow, that's up there for me. It's a contender.
Yeah, the only problem with it is it's got to be some percentage performance art, right? They know what they're doing. They know they're like, this is so crazy and ridiculous. It's going to get me clicks.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think she also was sort of incomprehensible.
Oh, absolutely.
It's also just like goldfish level memory. Like Taylor Swift has endorsed Joe Biden in 2020, endorsed Marsha Blackburn's opponent,
right.
got involved in a bunch of different issues. Does Pride every Pride when she's on tour. Like this is just part of her politics. In the documentary, there's a documentary about it where she's on film talking about what she wants to talk about. It talks about politics. Just like I know you're just paying attention, but like even though you don't have like the world exists when your eyes are closed.
Right. That's like the tour thing. I know this is new to you, but yeah, it's not new. Right.
Next, we have what is quickly becoming a classic clip of RFK Jr. being confronted with his own words by CNN's Casey Hunt about vaccines. Let's take a listen.
So you have gained notoriety for your skepticism about vaccines. And over the summer in an interview, you said, quote, "There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective." Do you still believe that?
I never said that.
So stop me. We have the clip. Please play the clip.
Play the whole clip.
You've talked about that the media slanders you by calling you an anti-vaxxer. And you've said that you're not anti-vaccine, you're pro-safe vaccine. Difficult question. Can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
I think some of the live virus vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
So you did say it. Do you still believe it?
Well, here's what I would say. First of all, I'm not anti-vaccine.
How is that statement not anti-vaccine?
Well, it's
not anti-vaccine. I just think it will kill you, which I will repeat to everyone I see.
Boy, do I feel safe.
There's a fallacy in philosophy that Tommy will remember from his studies, which is it's called No True Scotsman. No True Scotsman, which is, he says, I'm not against vaccines. He's like, well, you've said this or bad. I'm just for safe vaccines. Well, can you name any safe vaccines? No, I'm for safe vaccines, but there are no safe vaccines. What about this vaccine? Well, that's not a truly safe vaccine. What about this vaccine? It's not a truly safe vaccine. It's a way of it's a way of claiming something while never actually allowing it to be true.
Sounds like Twitter.
Yeah. Guys, give me charge of the water. Enjoy, everybody.
It's very bad.
Drink up. Drink up.
Drink while you can.
Yeah.
Get all those shots.
30 years from now, everyone's teeth are going to fall out of their fucking face and be like, I wonder why this happened.
This is a good example of where we need members of Congress to, for once, be really disciplined at his confirmation hearing and not give speeches and just be like prosecutors, narrowing in, asking him question after question to try to get him to say what he really thinks. Because he's also said that he thinks the polio vaccine killed many, many more people than polio ever did. He says things that like he has this veneer of just asking questions or I just want more data or research. But underneath that are really radical views, and they just got to tease him out of them.
That's a great point, Tommy. This is going to bug me because like the January 6th committee, now all facing jail time. The January 6th committee, like, that was the first set of hearings where I was like, oh, they finally nailed it. They didn't go every member on the panel giving their big long speeches, doing this, putting on their dog and pony show.
So right.
It's like they had a plan, they stuck to the plan, they got right to it. It was good TV. Wouldn't it be so nice if the Senate Democrats did this for all the hearings?
You have one person who's going to prosecute this.
Just flip for it.
Like we said about the January 6th hearings, so good they should be illegal.
By the way,
interesting. Do you know who the ranking member on the committee is?
Who?
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, it's helped,
great.
Right? Yeah,
he'll be good. He'll be very good.
Yeah.
On
Great.
This. By the way, if the J6 committee goes to jail, we should produce a song with them.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
that's a good
idea.
idea.
What if they do one with the insurrectionists? We Are the World style.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great. Like a rap battle.
What's the raps?
The Jets and the Sharks in West Side Story.
Do we think Mark Zuckerberg will put his hand on his heart for that one too?
Probably.
Oh yeah. Probably,
Will.i.am will remix it.
And our last take of the category, we have one of the most insane right-wing talking points of the election cycle. You know it, I know it. Let's take a listen.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
Residents are reporting that the migrants are walking off with the town's geese. They take in the geese. You know where the geese are? In the park, in the lake. And even walking off with their pets. My dog's been taken. My dog's been stolen.
77 million people. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to that guy.
Yeah. Looks like we're the ones eating crow.
It feels like in hindsight, one lesson here is that if your political opponent comes up with a dangerous conspiracy theory that incites people on a major issue in the election, you don't turn it into a catchy song and then have all of your influencers share it on TikTok for hours at a time.
You think that was a difference maker, Dan?
Just saying, like, it's a way of thinking about things going forward.
I want to listen to it. It's really catchy.
They're eating.
Yeah, it's in your head.
It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great.
Damn it.
They're eating the dogs.
Who did this?
They're eating the cats.
The Kiffness?
They're eating
that person.
the pets of the people that live there.
It's great.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Anyway,
You know that
It's gorgeous.
we had at Williams College, we had a steel pan band, and I was the drummer of the steel pan band.
No.
Did you?
Yes?
Wait, what?
No. Yes.
Yeah, no, we had it was
white guys with
I was
dreads
the
and
only
hacky sacks?
white member because I didn't play the steel pan. I didn't know how to play steel pan, but I could play. They needed a percussion. They needed someone to
Paging
play a drum.
Tristan Snell.
They needed to play a drum set, and so I played the drum set. I played the drum set in the Williams College steel pan band.
There's a cool steel
And
pan
that
guy.
reminds me of
Any
that time.
single
Largemont.
human. Do you think Crooked could put up $100,000 reward?
That's a good idea.
The video?
Video of this?
It's just
Get
before
it.
there was usual. It's just before you would have a lot of video.
Someone had a flip cam or something.
Yeah, Shamik was busy at the fucking newspaper till 2 a.m, wasting his fucking college life on op-eds. Oh yeah, Williams record really make a difference?
Op-eds in the future.
I was playing music.
All right, so who wins the category? We got Jesse Waters, Taylor Swift, vaccines, and the dogs and the cats.
I think vaccines for me. No, Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Not-
just
not-
to the fun, takeness.
Not dogs and cats?
He
So
won.
Taylor
is the
Swift,
problem.
Dogs and Cats, Jesse Waters. Is there another option? Did I forget?
Oh, and
Vaccines.
Vaccines.
I think Trump's take really was the take of the year. I mean, it became the discourse. It was the hinge point on the. It was it was one of the policy hinges of the whole election.
I mean, it is tough because it's like we're doing worst takes. It was like a bad take that won, but
Yeah.
best worst takes. I don't know.
I'm still flummoxed by the fact that Lovett was in a college version of
I know.
Jamiroquai.
That's not right. That's not right. That's not right.
So we're moving dogs and cats to the final.
I don't
group.
know. I'm not wedded to it.
No, that's fine. I imagine more of a rusted root, Dan, if we're being honest.
Oh, that's fair. That's
For
fair.
Lovett.
I mean-
selling nitrous balloons and
There is an argument for vaccines just because now we're gonna be living with that. Like,
Right. That's the take that can kill.
yeah. If these
I mean, the
takes
problem
could
always
kill.
is we don't really have any scale for making these judgments. So
That is-
Yeah, let's just pick one because we're dragging this out.
Okay.
Hey, you vibe out.
All right, dogs and cats. Great.
Dogs and cats.
All right, cool.
Pod Save America is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. There's no catch. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. 2 of our staff members here at Crooked Media just made the switch to Mint Mobile. They sent us some quotes. Here's what they had to say. Raven said, "The connection is really clear even when I'm commuting all over. Super helpful when I'm on the go all the time." Daryush is using his Mint Mobile phone as his bat line, and he says, "I love calling my friends from this phone. It rocks. The data connection has been flawless." To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/crooked. That's mintmobile.com/crooked. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/crooked. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
And now for the coveted worst take of the year from a Pod Save America host. Time to look inward.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Let's kick things off with Jon Lovett. Play the clip.
Oh.
Being a speechwriter is about figuring out the best
Too
way
easy.
to convince a bunch of people to either come along with you or agree with you or support you. I think that's a lot of what Survivor is.
You know what?
That was a good take.
Technically true take.
That's technically true.
Yeah,
Technically
and
true.
Good at both.
Yeah, really crushing on both this year. Got my finger on the goddamn pulse this year. Yeah, thank you for that.
Next up.
Next up.
We got Tommy Vietor talking about VP choices.
Oh, no. Okay, here's why I think Kristi Noem is a potential favorite to be the vice presidential nominee.
Electoral benefits of South Dakota?
There are none. But I do think the Trump campaign knows that abortion is likely to be the single biggest headwind for their campaign. They want diversity on the ticket. That could be gender-based. That could also be racial diversity. I think they'll ultimately decide that Donald Trump is going to need to peel off some of the suburban women that he has lost to Joe Biden. They're going to need to try to push back on concerns about stripping away abortion access. She's terrible on the policy, but I do think they're going to view it as a identity. This was
This
first
is a
of all,
great take. This is a totally fine take.
This was before the puppy killing thing, and came out her
Key
book,
context.
the puppy murder, and this was me and Brian Tyler Cohen ranking 10 different candidates. So we had to make a case for everyone we chose.
This is bullshit, Tommy. The judges, they're fucking you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I would do if I were you? I would sue them.
I'm looking at you, Saul.
Also, she did become the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yeah, she's DHS now.
That's not
Yeah,
nothing.
now she's in charge of the TSA. The one thing is, it's funny because like that was a very like cogent and reasonable take, but Trump was like, actually, I don't need to worry about any of that. I'm going to pick the opposite,
That's right.
a piece of shit guy that makes women uncomfortable, and it won't matter.
Abortion, a headwind? No.
Disagree.
I'm for whatever you guys are all for.
I think people hate the Biden administration so much that I can choose one of the biggest assholes around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy, it was a good year of takes for you. We had to dig. We had to dig
Thank
out
you.
of your 2 pods and go to liberal tiers. All right, next up we have Dan after Trump was convicted. Let's hear it.
The prevailing narrative that the conviction won't really matter is, I think, pretty disconnected from both what the polls actually say and the reality of an election that is likely to be this close. I stand by that.
Look,
1000%. He would have won by 10.
Counterfactual.
Yeah.
It's not. It's hard to prove.
Yeah.
Hard to prove
that's
that it's
good.
wrong.
That's good.
Yep. And the polls are a snapshot in time, so do better next time.
Yeah, I feel like no. I think polls are, and that's so important to keep in mind that polls are. If you've never heard us say that, polls are a snapshot in time. I just think a lot of what
Sometimes
I
it's
take
like a shitty Polaroid, you know.
If you look back on the year, what you take away from all of these like very reasonable these are all opinions about like ways things could matter at the margins in a race that wasn't really fought. Like that's like, but would that it mattered? But we're so fucked it doesn't.
I hate that I'm
But even
last.
still, I mean,
Sorry.
like the argument we always made, it would come down to 100,000 votes. It came down to 237,000 votes.
Right. That's true. That's true.
All right, let me have it.
And last
I don't
we
like this.
have
I don't like that I'm
Jon
last.
Favreau reacting to Joe Biden going on Seth Meyers.
I was so happy with that. I was so happy with, and like, you know, the appearance was not perfect, right? Like he still trailed off at times, you know, he interrupts himself once in a while. But if you're someone who's like wondering whether he's sharp enough for the job or knows his shit, like more appearances like that should give you more confidence.
I mean, he was pretty good on Seth Meyers.
I remember that interview at all.
You know, I remember, I'm not judging. We were all in that headspace.
Yeah.
But man, were we grading on a fucking curve during that time.
No, I mean, I thought you should have gone with the State of the Union discourse, which I think was, looking back at, talk about a grading on a curve.
Yeah.
Well, he was good. I mean,
he was good at the State of the Union. It was good.
He was good. He was fine. Like it was not the historic speech it was treated by some people, but it was good.
It was fine.
Yeah, that got in my head.
It was fine.
It was at least evidence. It was evidence of energy and coherence.
That's that's all. That's the point I was making about old Seth Meyers.
And I would say, by the way, that's the bar that we had set for ourselves, and it was too low. Too low. We're like, Joe Biden is losing the election, but good news, he can occasionally do a public event that's kind of a draw. What are we doing here?
Not winning.
State of the Union wasn't forward-looking enough. We did go through that tape. It was all he did a good enough job. He cleared the bar. This one we felt was forward-looking, and it was you'll be reassured by more apperances.
Elijah,
well, there were no more appearances.
Elijah,
there were no more appearances.
The debate is an appearance.
Elijah, could you give us the? There was something missing from that take. What was the date of the take?
February
of 2000.
24.
Okay, February 24. Yeah.
So after State of the Union.
So right. Okay, yeah. That's.
But that was
that's when he was cooking.
No, that was when there was. You know what? The last.
That was pre-State of the Union. It was pre-State of the Union.
That's like when the last little
really cooking.
The last little air out of the balloon. You know.
Well, the adrenochrome was really flying around at that point.
Yeah, that was the Seth Meyers appearance though, where Amy Poehler had to come out.
Oh yeah.
He was at the point where he was no longer doing things by himself.
Who won the worst take of the year by a Pod Save America host?
That's tough.
I will.
I think we're going to collectively sue you for such bad takes.
I like that.
Takes.
I will. Can I just?
Okay.
I have to say, in terms of bad takes, the meta bad take of the year was, "Hey guys, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to go on Survivor." I think it'll be good.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
that was a bad take.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a good time. I had a good time. Missed 3 dinners.
I did miss 3 dinners.
Missed 3 dinners.
3 dinners.
A nice couple.
I don't know. I don't know who to pick. Maybe we shouldn't pick. Maybe everyone else.
Yeah, you guys pick.
Yeah.
Couch, producer couch.
Not prepared.
I mean,
let the audience pick.
Yeah, you tell us. You tell us.
Well, no, you got to pick best in show. Someone makes best in show. I'll say it.
Here's one thing I can tell you. Our worst take is not winning the Pundies.
Yes,
no matter
thank
what
you,
it
Dan.
is.
That's a good take. Yeah,
good take.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Okay, well then I won't give my opinion on it. It doesn't matter.
No, tell us. Which is the worst? Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, that's your pick.
Oh, it's for sure you should be reassured by more public Joe Biden appearances. Come on.
I'll take it.
You are misreading John there.
Yeah, I didn't say you
more
should.
public appearances like
that. Yeah.
And the next one was not like that. It was an epic fucking disaster.
Right. If Joe Biden performed like he did on Seth Meyers the entire campaign, it would be a little different.
All of us are really taking this well and not at all getting defensive about our takes. I didn't go off for 5 minutes about how I was on a different show.
Liberal tears is eligible.
I could name 5.
It's like these takes.
Would Michael Phelps be as good of a swimmer if he had diarrhea in the pool and then killed himself?
Probably not.
Christ. I could name like 5 worst takes that I had.
Well, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
no.
All right, let's go. The winning group, worst takes of the year from the primaries group. We have Trump's GOP is already dying. From the polling group, we have Alan Lichtman's 13 keys. From the Blue MAGA group, we have wanting Joe Biden to drop out is racist. From the Discourse group, we have the death of the debate commission. From the bizarre MAGA group, we have they're eating the dogs and the cats. And from the worst take by a Pod Save America host, we have undecided. It's not winning. So,
I mean, it's Alan Lichtman.
I think it's Alan.
Yes, and I think look, and it's funny because it feels like mean
like
to
we're
be
punching down.
Yeah, but I think it's worth just saying like there was a lot of people like Alan Lichtman, which were people that were looking at like a miasma of contradictory data and saying they knew the answer. And like, that is like, how many times are we going to fucking do this? Because I cling to those people too. Like, you know, you're just like reading all the things and there's this person like looking at me like, here's why it's so clear what's going to happen. And like, you want those things to be true. Like you want to believe those things, but you just can't. And this was like a signal, ridiculous example of it. But no, you're not going to confidently predict the future based on your 14 political science fucking keys.
Yeah, political science isn't science. And I think you have to allow for uncertainty.
Yeah.
And when you speak in such definitive ways, I think you really leave yourself open to being punched down or up.
Yeah. By history.
Right, well,
by history itself.
That'll wrap up the 2024 Pundies. Thank you, guys.
Alan Lichtman wins.
Alan Lichtman, your prize money's in the mail.
I'm just gonna now. I think now we can use a picture of Alan Lichtman for the art,
that's good.
for the episode art.
Maybe the one from the live stream he did that night where he was like, my keys.
My keys. Hey, we found a set of keys in the parking lot.
Alan Lichtman, come get
your keys.
All right, we've got one last order of business before we sail off into Crooked's holiday break. Our New Year's resolutions. As always, we'll be confronted with our resolutions from last year to see how we did. Oof, unfortunately, I'm up first. Part of my resolution is like similar to Dan's, which is my attention span's gone. I have a strategy, which is I want to take like a walk 20 to 30 minutes a day, maybe a couple days a week.
Like 0 for 10 on this 10.
Where I don't bring my phone and I don't listen to anything.
It's big on TikTok, the silent walk.
Yeah, the silent walk.
John, how many walks did you take this year?
It would be zero silent walks.
Not one walk without your phone.
Not without my phone. But I will say this is what I did. I did every Tuesday. My Tuesdays in the middle of the day, I would take a walk and I would listen to a podcast, but I would not look at my phone. So exactly, I didn't do it, but I did. You know,
it's mindfulness.
I can't believe you have gone back-to-back years of doing none of your resolution.
Yeah.
Don't forget the volunteering one of last year.
Yeah.
Okay. How many years am I going to get the fucking volunteering one?
That's it. This is our last chance to talk about it. Last chance. Yeah. How's that ladle arm? You got that? You got that carpal tunnel.
He's fucking defrosting turkeys all day long.
Yeah. It's like, I need more corn for the chili.
He's got a big bell and a Santa suit outside of Kroger.
Oh my God! All right, let's hear Tommy's resolution.
Next year, I want to skip this recording again so that I cannot be held accountable once again. I somehow got on a list that has led me to get dozens of cold emails from random tech consultants. I want to find that list, destroy it, and destroy whoever created it.
What a weird fucking resolution.
That's weird.
I think what happened is I decided to come in just being a jackass with jokes, and you guys were serious, and it kind of changed the vibe.
Oh wow! Did you? How'd you do?
I don't think
Did you get a lot of the tech consultants out of your inbox?
No. Yeah. How's your spam problem, Tommy? A lot of self-reflection going on.
I think you made this joke last year.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh, I guess I didn't do my resolution.
Well, let's do it.
Let's do them all at the end.
together.
Okay, that's right. Great. Dan, let's do Dan's.
The thing I really want to work on this year is regaining some semblance of my attention span.
Over 2.
Dan, did you do that? Did you do that, Dan?
I would say no. No, I did not.
The irony of you saying this, Dan, is you write books.
And message.
I wrote.
Yeah, but like a weekly, a couple of days a week. Is it every day? Every other day in the message box? Feels like all the time.
Yeah. It feels like all the time and never enough.
Always impressive.
I did not do the things I wanted to do to regain my attention span. I doubled down. I think 2 weeks after I gave this resolution, I set up push notifications for that account that retweets all of Trump's truth socials, which was a sign that I wasn't going to make it this year.
All right, let's hear Lovett's.
My resolution is to not spend the year worrying about food and diet. Like for the first time to go into this year without any kind of like emotionally unhealthy relationship with food and diet and exercise. That's my resolution, and to keep that going.
Oh yeah, wow. How did you find the willpower to do that?
I feel like you nailed that one with some help.
where did you gain the strength?
First of all, as if,
Maha.
Yeah, we're making America healthy again. One injection to the hip at a time. Now, this resolution came after I'd already started taking experimental pancreas medicine. No, but I will say I did also fail because I'm definitely better. But I still do have like an unhealthy relationship to food. It's so hard. But like, it's interesting. Like all of our resolutions, like attention span and like and diet, it's all about like trying to find some like inner reservoir of discipline to defeat like a cultural force. And it's hard. It's hard because like I'm better about the diet stuff, and I am like a little bit crazy about exercise. So I don't know. Better than I was. That's for sure.
Should try my 13 keys to a healthy life. Yeah.
All right,
Never
now
fails.
we'll go around and do our resolutions. My resolution this year, this one I'm gonna nail.
I cannot fucking wait.
More posting.
Oh, okay.
I'm more posting,
He's
more
going
Twitter
all in.
fights. It's gonna be Twitter. It's gonna be Blue Sky. I'm jumping in the Discord. I'm posting.
TikTok stitches.
TikTok stitches.
Really? Is this serious?
Yeah.
More?
I'm gonna just say what I want.
Okay. Well, okay.
I'm getting in there.
I think
I'm getting in the Discourse. You've all seen it. Yeah, I've been doing it for a month
You've
now.
been doing this for 6 months now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, since Biden had that great debate.
Oftentimes, I'll just open up my phone on a Friday night before bed and was like, man, what was John thinking at 9:30 to jump on this third rail?
I will say though, like in the month or two before the election, I kind of settled down a little bit on the posting. I did a lot of checking, but not a lot of posting. I'm posting now.
Post-election, you're just in it. And it's funny to listen to be like in a group chat with you where you're texting your anger about something and see how long you've held yourself back before you start tweeting about it.
It usually starts in the group chat. I usually test it out there and I'm like, oh, it's going to Twitter.
What's the goal?
Yeah, you know it doesn't make you feel good.
What's the goal?
Talk
I mean, part of this is that I can't
feel good.
that I can't stop it, so I might as well lean into it.
Right, that's the argument for Trump from Republicans in the House.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke, guys. But what I am,
Do you have a real one?
I am going to. I'm going to. The reason I'm going to post more is because I'm going to put out my thoughts. Right, I'm not going to get in Twitter fights, stuff like that. But I want to write my thoughts down more. And if it's in posts, that's great. If it's in articles, that's great. But I realize that just talking is not good enough for me. I want to actually write my thoughts down. So and I really actually want to. I don't want to be on Twitter as much posting, but I do want to. I've been talking to our Discord subscribers, and they're great, and so I want to get in there more.
They're nice.
Great.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
Okay.
I think it's good to write things down. I think sometimes writing things down is you figure out what you really think when you actually try to write it down.
That's right.
Yeah, and like some of it is there's times where I've just been like writing stuff down that doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go on Twitter, doesn't go anywhere, but sometimes it actually just helps to sort of like
clarify
late
your
night type
thinking.
something out. Yeah, it's good.
I cannot wait to read your diary in Discovery.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. All right, Tommy, who's in your inbox that you're getting out this year?
Who are the big CRM managers? Salesforce. I'm coming for them. Coming for your tower. I want to talk to more smart people off air, experts. Talked to a really smart guy about Sudan and Somaliland today. I could elaborate if you guys want to hear more about it.
No.
I love it. You can tell by your face. that you
Classic Tommy.
Would
want to know more about
love to, but
that.
we're just so pressed for
But
time. It's running
it's
so late.
really helpful to talk to these very smart, nerdy, nice people and just do it to get smarter on background. That's the thing I like doing.
Wow.
I want to get good at using AI tools. I tried to use ChatGPT to write me a list of resolutions, and I failed. So I want to get better at that.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm gonna
Tommy,
get back into
experts
the-
and AI.
Experts, maybe there's some overlap there.
It's the overlap is one is a group of people helping to make the world clearer. The other is a technology that will make it much harder.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, they're in competition. So that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see who wins.
Let us know.
Pick your fighter. Finally, I've been reading a book about mindfulness meditation, but I haven't been doing it. I think it'd be good to do it. It's good for you.
Okay.
It
Tommy's
is.
gonna meditate.
It is good.
Maybe while you're meditating, you'll see John on one of his walks.
Ladle in one hand,
famous stroll.
Twitter in the other.
Yeah, that's right.
That's your ladle arm. So funny.
Dan,
what do you got?
So 2 things. One, I am going to make another run at my attention span. And the thing I've started doing since election, which has caused me to miss many of Jon's best Twitter fights, is to put my phone away before I put my kids to bed and not look at it for the rest of the night.
That's so smart.
Oh.
So no longer 2-screening, like watching TV or something like that. So that's one. Whether I will manage to continue doing that, open question, but I want to do that. The second thing, and it's related to Tommy's path towards mindfulness, is that's not even a joke. I'm being serious here.
It was the path towards mindfulness that really.
It's a winding path.
There's
some dead ends along the way.
The path is the mindfulness, guys.
Right.
Yes. This is related. Both mindfulness and attention span is. I want to take up yoga in 2025. I started doing it some this year. It just as a
Downward
way.
Dan.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. When you're next in LA, you and I, we're going to Pilates.
Oh, I'd love to watch this.
I debated whether I would do this one publicly, and then I was like, Lovett has been basically doing a one-man pitch for Pilates for weeks now, so this is a safe space.
I do yoga too.
No.
Where do you do it, Dan? Do you go to group classes?
Yeah. They've been doing hot vinyasa yoga.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. But I want to do it regularly. Like I do it every once in a while now, but I want to do it something I want to do regularly.
It's really good for you.
It's good fodder for the fanfic.
Downward Dan, yeah. How do you say
Downward
that?
Dan. Downward Dan's pretty good.
Love it.
So I feel like we are coming to the end of a year where we made a lot of shows and we did a ton of content and there was a lot happening. And I want to try next year to do a little bit less, a little bit better, and like really be deliberate about, because I do think that like
So like Joe Biden, you're quiet quitting too?
A little bit more than him. No, but like I do think that like we're heading into another Trump era. It's going to be exhausting, and like we keep saying, like, you know, we got to make sure that we're like disciplined about what we care about, disciplined what we pay attention to, and I just want to apply that to like what we cover, how we cover it. I want to make sure that like, so we like took down the Tuesday Love or Leave It, and that's in part because I want to try to make the Thursday show even better, and I want the time and space to think about that and to think about other things to do outside of these 2 shows, and like I want to have the mental space and like it's not about time, but or even like work. It's just like the creative space to think about how to talk about politics, because so much of what we've just been saying for the last couple of weeks is there's something about how Democrats sound, and we need to figure out how we're communicating, and like you're not going to figure that out in the churn.
Mm-hmm. All right, well,
that's
good luck, everyone. I'll be posting. That feels like a pretty good place to end it. As I mentioned, we're going to be on our winter break the next 2 weeks, but we'll be tiding you over here in the feed with special access to an episode of our subscriber show, Inside 2024 with Dan and Alyssa, all about how presidential transitions work, and an episode of Assembly Required with Stacey Abrams about the Trump administration's plans for healthcare. Big thanks to the Take Master General, Elijah, for hosting, to Hallie Kiefer for writing, and to our PSA staff for the hours they spent combing through the very worst of the internet and this show to bring you today's episode. You guys are fantastic.
And beautiful performances.
And the performances.
Incredible.
Farrah, Haley, Saul, Adrian, Reed, heard his voice there too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing David was involved too. Who else do we miss from our producers? That's everyone. All right, guys. Everyone, have a great holiday, and we will talk to everyone in the new year.
Bye, everyone.